outside of Portrush, hard to imagine how it gets any better in terms of an individual year for Rory McIlroy. Just such good stuff from him.
Oh, totally. It's, it's kind of wild to me. You just go through that incredible list of venues that he's won at, and then, of course, throw in the Irish Open to be the fourth. It is hard to believe that he has not won since April. And we talk about this incredible year that he's had.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Who wants to go to Chicago in February for a Super Bowl? Hey, the NFL can host outdoor parties on Lake Michigan. Stop the madness at this point. But now I take a look at the Denver Broncos. Always fun in the Mile High City. Why? Because what a home field advantage. It's at elevation. It's going to be cold. It might snow, and Denver's going to have that advantage. You know what Denver goes? We're going to build a world-class facility that's going to be a dome.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. Only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
Whoever thought you'd get CW Post references, that's what you get. We dive deep on this show on the Early Line, specifically on a Hump Day Wednesday. It's just the way we do it. Sonny right-sided show. We're near, we have fun. We talk about all the hottest topics and get down to the business. And it's important. Like, we do a service to the people, Joe. Like, it's Hump Day. Like, most people are going to show up in a cubicle. They're going to sell insurance. They're going to get on the back of a trash truck. They're going to go to their job today. Like, you know what? I need a boost before I get to the office. And this is the boost they get. Like, you know what? I like these two guys here. You know what? I can make it through today. When I wake up tomorrow, the NFL is back. And then we sleep again. It's for Football Friday on the SportsGrid Network. And then I have the weekend. We owe it to the people to keep the energy high because why? We do it for them, Joe. We do it for them.
Absolutely. Listen, time is money, right? So the less time you got to be dragging out through the day trying to get the answers to what's going on in the world of sports, you hang out with us and we are good to go. And you got everything you need to start the day.
Exactly. And by the way, you know, being a Sopranos reference here, Vito goes on the run. And I remember him working in a barn where he didn't want to check his clock. He's like, ooh, it's got to be 10 o'clock. It's got to be 11 o'clock. I can't wait for lunch. Then he looks at his clock and it's like 9:45. We helped the time go past. He's like, whoa, my day's almost over. Look how much fun we're having on the SportsGrid Network, which is time for the 7 and 7 and the hottest sports topics across the landscape. We get to it. It's Tom Brady. Time to beat on Tom Brady. Tom, you can't be getting away with this anymore. You deflated footballs. You cheated throughout your career. Congratulations. You won a ton of Super Bowls, and I had you as the greatest living NFL football player that there ever was. So I will show you that respect. But at the same time, don't clown us here. Don't be a Raiders owner. Don't be a Raiders coach. Don't be a Fox play-by-play guy. Wear one hat and enjoy it and do it to your fullest here. I don't want to see you in the coach's booth anymore sharing illegal information so it gets back to the Raiders and you have a competitive advantage. That's what's happening. But the NFL's going like, whoa, nothing to see here. Stop talking about this. Move on, people.
No, nothing to see. No, it's not only the first time in the history of the NFL where now we've got a guy that is on the number one team with Fox Broadcast, also an owner, also has, pre-production meetings against teams that, his Raiders will be playing in another week or so. The entire optics of this is gross, but the NFL, I'm just shocked, Donnie. I'm shocked they put themselves in this spot. They could have got out in front of this and ended it, but instead they continue to make excuses and come up with reasons why it's okay, and it's not.
Stop the madness at this point right now. And also, other hot topics. The Philadelphia Eagles, yes, they're 2-0 in the season, but the tush push seems like it's in the national spotlight where the NFL and other teams want to ban it. Now, granted, everybody can run this. Here's my simple solution for the NFL just to keep everything on the up and up. Just officiate it correctly, Joe. If the Eagles line up off sides, throw the flag. If the Eagles false start, throw the flag. You can see it. If the defense, which they do every single time the tush push comes up, lines up off sides in the neutral zone, throw the flag. Officiate it correctly. Joe, we don't say you can't have the forward pass in the NFL because nobody knows what a catch is. You just do the best you can and officiate it to the best of your ability and let it roll at this point. So again, everybody can do it, not just the Eagles. They weren't grandfathered into the tush push here. Stop the crying, just officiate it correctly, and let's move on and have a football season.
Listen, they tried to get rid of it, right, in the offseason in the owners' meeting, and nope, didn't. So what is the problem? And by the way, it's not new. It's been around, so you've had all this opportunity to come up with something. Either utilize it with your offense to the best of your ability, or here's a novel idea, Donnie. Come up with a defensive scheme that would allow you to actually stop it. And then you know what happens, Donnie? It goes away. It goes away rather quickly.
You know, it goes away too. Winning football games. You don't get criticized as much, particularly in college football. And that's what Dabo Swinney is having a tough time with. He's saying right now, Joe, man, look at the past, how good we are. No, we want to look at the right now. And here's a clip of Dabo Swinney trying to explain where they are in the here and now.
What's so bad about our program? What's so bad about it? Like, what's so bad about the worst season that we've had 14 years? How many programs in college football would sign up for one, and only once, 14 years of 9 wins? How many programs would sign up for that? And the playoffs, so we all talk about, we've been 7 times in 10 years. Who can say that? If we stink because we haven't played for the national championship since January of 20, well, I guess we stink.
They do stink right now, Joe. What do you think?
The definition of what have you done for me lately is right there, and it's Clemson and Dabo. But again, I warn Clemson fans, careful what you wish for. The dude is 55 years old. If you think he's just going to hang him up like Saban and retire, you're out of your mind. He might actually go and be your biggest nemesis at another school. Yeah. So careful what you wish for, Clemson.
Also understand this, too, with Dabo Swinney. I love the pettiness because if you're a high school coach and teacher making like $75,000 a year and the parents are like, you better start winning football games. Like, look, man, I do a lot of work here for your kids. But when you get paid in excess of $10 million a year and you start slow, you are going to be fried. That's just the way it works. That's why you make the big dollars there as the head coach. Let's keep it moving to Major League Baseball. Shohei Ohtani. Filthy on the mound last night, Joe. 5 innings pitched, no earned runs. Contributes with a home run. Easy Dodgers victory over the Phillies. Not so fast. The bullpen came in and gave up 6 runs the minute Ohtani left that game, and the Phillies won that game 9-6.
Yep, wheels fell off, which again is big. Their biggest problem this year is that bullpen. But Ohtani, I mean, no hit through 5, and to go 2 for 5 in a game with the home run, you're not going to see this again for a very, very long time, if ever. What he's doing is unprecedented, Donnie, in this era.
Cal Raleigh, number 55 and number 56, reached the seats here. What an incredible season for him. The most ever by a switch hitter. Can he get the 60 home? By the way, Joe, let me ask you this question too. If he gets 60 home runs and they win that division, and Aaron Judge is decent, but the Yankees obviously don't win the division, why is he not the MVP? I'm being honest.
It's going to be interesting, but again, it's a popularity contest when it's all said and done. But listen, Seattle's still got work to do. It's nice with the personal accolades here for Cal Raleigh, but I'm sure he would tell you and everyone else will tell you, you got to take this record-breaking season and you got to lead this team to a couple of playoff wins and maybe, just maybe, an American League pennant.
Yeah, remember how much fun the Mariners and their fans had and their team had when they won the most Major League Baseball regular season wins and quickly got bounced in the playoffs? It doesn't matter. Do it in the playoffs. We'll see if that happens. You know who else is going to try to do it in the playoffs? The Mets picked up a victory over the Padres yesterday, trying to solidify their chance to be a wild card team in the NL, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, kudos. Where's that team been, Mets? I mean, they are so fortunate that everyone else chasing them is named the Reds, number 1. But my goodness, they just inconsistent. Who are the Mets going to beat in the postseason anyway? Just answer me that, Donnie. Who would they be a favorite over?
Better not be the Philadelphia Phillies. I'm just saying last year. That's unacceptable. Red October at Citizens Bank Park. Can't have the Mets ruining our fun and joy here in the city of brotherly love. How about this? Paige Beckers wins the WNBA Rookie of the Year award. So I guess that means the season's over. And was it a banquet that she got it at? Is WNBA still playing right now? I don't know.
Well, I mean, listen, that was always on a lot of people's radar to start the season coming out of UConn, and she was just a absolute monster. And she played like it this year, but I'm with you, Donnie. Like, who's the champion? Did they crown a champion? Are they in the finals? Where are we in the WNBA?
Look, Joe, here's what we do. We go from 44 games back down to 25. We have it over the summer. Everybody would be interested there. You have the spotlight there. You get your playoffs done and out of the way by Labor Day and give way to football season, which brings me to my next quick topic. The NBA starting in October. That's ridiculous. The NBA should start January 1st once the regular season of the NFL is over. Make me commissioner. I will make you people so much money in these sports leagues here. Now we're going to talk Major League Baseball. Let's win even more money with baseball. How about that?
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. Only on SportsGrid.
Remember these names: AZ Fudd, Olivia Miles, Lauren Betts. Depending on who wins that lottery, that's going to depend on who goes one. If Washington wins, it's Fudd. She's from the area. If Dallas wins, they're going to bring Fudd to play with obviously Paige. If Minnesota wins, I think they go Miles with the point. If Seattle wins, they go with Miles, and the same thing with Chicago.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
I was looking at through my phone at first. I'm like, why is there such a delay? And why are we getting pitch hitters right away? Oh, the pitcher got thrown out for some reason. Maybe he hurt himself. But no, turning out and seeing a brawl was absolutely hilarious to let that one play out. Just the way it is sometimes in baseball. We don't get a lot of good fights and a lot of good brawls in anger, specifically from two teams that aren't going to the playoffs. So good on them for showing that moxie last time. But it's good to see a little bit of a brawl and a little bit of that passion here.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
If a game is on the line,
give me the Navy kicker.
Oh,
the guy's going into battle in 2 weeks. He can't make an extra point. Come on.
From a mindset perspective, I'm not. Listen, we thanked them for their service. I love them. Okay.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, if you have a bet and you have an academy kicker with a field goal or an extra point, you got to hold your breath.
27 yards. You know,
27 yards. The kid shanked it from like 30.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
Major League Baseball on a Wednesday, an afternoon action, Joe Ranieri. Why not? 12:35, 1:15, 2:10, 3:40, 4:05. This is what we love on a hump day, like baseball. Kudos to you. Having a great slate on a Wednesday mixed in with afternoon action to take our minds off. We cannot wait for Thursday Night Football. And that starts today in Pittsburgh, the Chicago Cubs and the Pittsburgh Pirates. By the way, Joe, do you know what the final score of that game was yesterday between the Cubs and the Pirates?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm
4 to
very
1.
well aware that, yeah. And it all happened early, Donnie. It all happened early. That, too, was the worst we've seen Skeens in quite a while there. And, didn't score. The bullpens actually pitched better than the starting pitching.
Which
Unreal.
is when you say like that's baseball, that's like just what happens at that point. Like we've all watched. There's 162 games in Major League Baseball. Like crazy stuff happens all along. But when you're just trying to use the formula, like okay, if they're going to score runs, it's going to be off the bullpens late, and Skeens might not go past 5 innings. But Skeens is probably going to be really good in the first 5 innings, and the game goes 4 to 1. It's like you know what? They're probably going to get 10 runs in this game. Nobody scores late in the game. It's exactly what happens in Major League Baseball. What happened yesterday. Vito's on the mound for the Pittsburgh Pirates, going up against Matthew Boyd, the left-handed pitcher. Favorite, 155 overnight for Chicago. Down a little bit at FanDuel, it's 148, but the rest of the places, 150s, 155s, depending on where you're shopping at, and a total listed at 8. Cubs looking for the playoffs, Pirates looking to just go home. But Boyd's numbers on the road for the season aren't that great here. Could we see more runs today than we got yesterday, with much better starters on the mound?
Yeah, it's crazy, right? And a little early afternoon baseball, which I think is also a lot of motivation for the Cubs, though, right? Because they're looking to finally clinch that playoff berth, get it done, lock it in, so we can begin to get ready for some postseason action here. But I mean, the Pirates, they've lost 10 of their last 11. I think they 1 run, 7 hits in the first 2 games of this series, and team total under for the Pirates for me here, Donnie. That's the way I would approach this.
If you told me yesterday that the Cincinnati Reds would give up 3 runs, like perfect, man. Had a really good handicap there. Congratulations, Reds, on the victory. But the Reds didn't score a run yesterday,
Unreal.
Lost 3-0. So bounce back at 115 today. Reds versus the Cardinals. Singer versus Palante, total 8.5, and a slight favorite here at a -118 price for those Cincinnati Reds. If we look at Palante on the season, Joe, 73 innings pitched at home, 5.67 ERA, 4.70 FIP, 4.38 xFIP number here. We should be getting hits for the Reds, but as you always like to point out, inconsistency is the best thing. Now understand this as well. You know as well as I do. Oh, look at the Reds. They didn't score yesterday. I'm not betting them today. Looks like I told you on the Yankees, which actually I said the Yankees had 5 by the second inning. They had more than that. Watch the Reds do the same thing today against Palante and the Cardinals.
Yeah, no, it's I think Palante is what do they call him? Oh yeah, like a batting practice pitcher, right? Because he's given up 4 runs in 9, or at least 4 runs in 9 of his last 12 starts. So he's got nearly a 6 ERA. If Cincinnati can't score runs and get guys on against this pitcher, I don't know what to say, man. It's the most maddening team, Donnie, that you can score 11 runs one game, look like world beaters, and then get shut out the next game is absolutely mind-blowing. But to me, advantage Reds at a pretty good price in a game they need to have. Brady Singer's been decent for him this year for sure.
Got to have it. Playoff race here out on the West Coast. Actually, at 12:40 start out west, but 3:40 east. San Francisco and Arizona. Verlander versus Fought on the mound. Total listed at 9 across the board, and roughly pick 'em. -110 or so split, depending on where you're shopping at. Verlander has been much better as of late, but understand this, Joe. On the road this year for Verlander, 53 2/3 innings pitched. How about an ERA of 4.53, but an xFIP number of 5.06? So is it going to have some recency bias, or just taking into effect when he goes on the road, he's just not that good? Because why? Anytime you pitch out in San Francisco, it's a perfect pitcher's ballpark. Not in the case for Arizona. If we look at Brandon Fought at home this year, his numbers aren't that bad. As I'm trying to just scribble down, 6.05 ERA. What do you mean, Donnie? That's terrible. No. But he's got a 4.14 xFIP number, which isn't as bad. 9 is the total in this game. I got to tell you, maybe a team total for the Arizona Diamondbacks to get Verlander when he's been pitching well, and maybe it's a time that Arizona can rise up and win another game here. Arizona in the playoffs. How do you even think about it? It could be a reality.
And what a story it would be, Donnie, for sure, if they're able to do it. But this is this Giants lineup has owned Brandon Fought. So there, to me, I think runs are coming. The Diamondbacks swinging the bat great. I have no doubt that they'll be able to get to Verlander and score enough here. I don't think 9 is enough, Donnie. I think this is a dead over in this game here. You're right. Team total, great, but I like the over for the game as well.
Play it up, baby. Play it up. Get the overs here. That's what we cheer on. 6:40 p.m. tonight in Detroit. Detroit, we know, is headed to the playoffs. Cleveland, not headed anywhere. Gavin Williams versus Jack Flaherty. Look at this number, Joe. Minus 168 at the opening number at FanDuel. You see the placard that's going to come out at minus 156. It's dropped down to a minus 138. Everybody else around that minus 150 price point. So money coming in on the Guardians today with a total of 8. What's up with that big drop?
How do you not beat Cantillo yesterday, Detroit? My goodness. Yeah, some question marks still on Scooble. But this is a huge series for the Guardians. It's now or never. They're 5.5 games behind Detroit there for the Sound. And listen, 5.5 games with 2 weeks left of baseball. And we've seen it, Donnie. One little bit of a losing streak and the other team goes hot. Detroit needs this game. But you know what the market is telling you there, Donnie? Yeah, I don't know if Flaherty is the guy that's going to get it for you here. So feels like Detroit can win this game, but it feels more like a under for the Guardians team total in this one.
We'll tee this one up because I tend to get upset sometimes. I had a couple alt-team total parlays yesterday. Ended up going 2-1, Joe, plus money. You never can complain. But maybe the easiest game and the highest price game for me was the Boston Red Sox yesterday, Joe, to score over 2.5 runs against those Athletics. They scored one early, left 1 million players on base, and actually lost that game 2-1 outright here. So we'll set the table. Barnett's on the mound here for the Athletics today. Not a good pitcher going up against Lucas Giolito. A heavy favorite for the Boston Red Sox tonight at a 6:45 start. And you know how this goes once again, Joe, right? They, talking about the Red Sox, scored 1 run last night. You know what they'll do in the first inning. 2 for 3 with runners in scoring position, 4 runs, and away they go. Just to make me upset. We'll continue with the A's and the Sox next, right here on the Early Line.
Outside of Portrush, hard to imagine how it gets any better in terms of an individual year for Rory McIlroy. Just such good stuff from him.
Oh, totally. It's, it's kind of wild to me. You just go through that incredible list of venues that he's won at, and then, of course, throw in the Irish Open to be the 4th. It hit hard to believe it that he has not won since April. And we talk about this incredible year that he's had.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Who wants to go to Chicago in February for a Super Bowl? Hey, the NFL can host outdoor parties on Lake Michigan. Stop the madness at this point. But now I take a look at the Denver Broncos. Always fun in the Mile High City. Why? Because what a home field advantage. It's at elevation. It's going to be cold. It might snow, and Denver's going to have that advantage. You know what Denver goes? We're going to build a world-class facility that's going to be a dome.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. Only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
We're going to Boston. Athletics. Red Sox, Joe. I just gave the preamble. I'm upset with the Red Sox. They couldn't plate runs for me. And you know what the best part about it was, too? It was set up for the over 2.5 easily because you're down 2-1 late in the game. You have 3 at-bats left. Score 1 run, you go to extras, you get it. They weren't able to do that, which really upset me. But it looks like they should be in for a bounce back today, as high as a -180 price point in the marketplace, and a total listed at 9. Do the Bats wake up today in Boston?
They better. Giolito's been really good for him here this year. But, again, quietly, the Athletics, Donnie, also playing pretty good baseball right now. And they're not bowing to anybody, but they've got the advantage on the mound. And it feels like maybe an under in this spot might be worth a look with a little cooler temperatures rolling in here to Fenway.
Rolling down to Tampa Bay. Ooh, look at this one. Kevin Gausman's on the mound going up against my brethren, Ian Seymour, the left-handed pitcher. By the way, my last name's Seymour, and I'm a lefty. Could this is supposed to be the life that I was supposed to be leading, pitching for the Tampa Bay Rays? The total's listed at 8, and a side of them favorite at -130 to -132, depending on where you're shopping at right now, in the favor of Toronto. Toronto's on a win streak. Toronto's bats are hot here. What do we see down at Steinbrenner Field in Tampa for you today, Joe?
Yeah, Seymour's actually pretty good here, the young pitcher for the Rays. And Gausman has been, really bounce back year here. And like the over last night with those two gas cans on the mound, and we got that, Donnie. I don't like the over in this one here tonight. I like the under. I think this is going to be a lower scoring game with the Rays and the Jays.
Yeah, talking about lower scoring, I think you might be having this as well up at Citi Field, a couple thousand miles away, 909, 910. That's San Diego, and it's the New York Mets. Pivetta versus Peterson. This line opened up, Joe, 7.5 as a total, still sits at 7.5 across the board. But a total aside here, that's roughly a pick 'em, depending on where you're shopping at right now. Both of these teams desperately need this victory, and the Mets really came to play by using the long ball and smashing Michael King and the Padres yesterday. Do we see more runs today, or we get back to, all right, playoff baseball, two good pitchers, let's see a 3-2 final?
Well, certainly pitching-wise, advantage Padres, both the starter and the bullpen here. And I don't trust Peterson in this spot here. Pivetta has been the guy all year long for the Padres. He's going to have to come up big in this one. I think they do. I like the Padres to bounce back in a big way here.
How about that? The Padres bouncing back. And by the way, if we put is there any chance that you think that the New York Mets don't make the playoffs? Or are they just assured making the playoffs for you? What do you say?
Oh, nothing is assured. None of these teams are playing their best baseball right now. It feels like all of them are limping to the finish line, Donnie, which makes it very hard to say, sure, Mets are guaranteed to make. Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see what happens here. A team that's looking to make the playoffs for sure. That's the Seattle Mariners. First place Mariners on a hot streak. They've won 10 games in a row. They're throwing out Miller today, who's not a good pitcher. You look at the side in this one. Wait a second. It's a -110. Cole Reagans, I don't know if I can trust that guy. Not necessarily. How about this? If I would have told you on the card today for home pitchers, he's number 1, Joe. 29 innings pitched at home this year, an ERA of 4.97. Donnie, that's terrible. We don't look at ERA. How about an xFIP of 2.64? I like Kansas City to stop that win streak today. Get some base knocks, get a good pitching performance out of Reagans, and come away with the victory. What do you say on this one?
Well, the problem is, what are you going to get from Reagans? We haven't seen him in a million years, it feels like. So he's, it's always going to be questionable here when you got a guy that is trying to shake off some rust here after he hasn't pitched in, I don't know, it feels like 4 months. So it's tough, but went on. You're right. Nobody better than him. This feels like an under game, though, as well. I would even look maybe an under in the first 5 here in this spot.
Yeah, Bats came out to play last night, which they should. Like every night, Seattle looks like it has an unbelievable lineup, 1 through 9. And it really came to play yesterday. The lefty Reagans will be on the mound. You know they're going to stack all those right-handed batters up against them today. And maybe Cal Raleigh. I'm interested in this, Joe. If there's only 2 weeks left in the season, 4 home runs isn't crazy, but it's still a pretty good amount to have. If I gave you the odds, and I don't know, I guess other books probably have them as well. Does he, talking about Cal Raleigh, get the 60 home runs this year?
It's going to be close. It's going to be really close, I think, Donnie. And as this race tightens up here with the Mariners, pressure is going to be on here. So I think it's going to close. 58-59, I think, is what he gets to. He's just short.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if he gets 60, he's probably got to be the MVP. And also, do what they do to every other hitter out there. Move him up into the leadoff spot to get him an extra at-bat a game here for an extra couple swings at that home run. Do it for Carol Crowley, people. Let's do it. We'll make this baseball handicap for Wednesday coming up next.
Pitch today. It's like 5 in the morning. We hammer it. He tells everyone, listen, I'm telling you guys, Esteban Loaiza is in no condition to pitch today. We all hammer it. We bet against the Toronto Blue Jays. We even went to the game, Scott, even. Esteban Loaiza, word of no lie, bro. He threw 8 innings, a one-hit ball.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
They trade Marina Mabrey, then they turn around, and then obviously they fire Teresa Weatherspoon, and it's been a hot mess. You go and, draft Cardozo and Reese, basically two of the same player, meaning bigs that can't step out and shoot. So it's a little bit of a clown show when you talk about the Chicago Sky.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
He says, you can't get in a position, Tiger, Rory, Justin Thomas, those guys are this tall. You're never gonna be as flexible as them. You got a lot more leverage and you got a lot of more moving parts than those dudes.
The Smiley Show. Only on SportsGrid.
I like the shadows coming in, Neyland Stadium. Show
High
me those
school,
3:30.
Joe,
Back
we
in the
played
day,
all our games on Saturdays. Maybe one or two games on a Friday night away. I always loved that. Same thing in college. Hated Friday night football games in college.
I understand why they do it prime time and we have to play. But going back to when we grew up, Keith Jackson.
Yeah.
Action.
Throw another pancake on that plate. Yeah, let's go Keith Jackson. That's my guy here.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
Back to Major League Baseball. By the way, Joe, I got a trivia question for you to start the top of this segment before we get back to the handicaps. Can you name the 2 players in Major League Baseball history with 50 home runs in a season and 50 strikeouts in a season? Do you know who they are? Multiple strikeouts. I think I got that wrong.
I think that maybe there's one, I think, and didn't we just I think we just saw him, didn't we not, last night in Ohtani with 50 bombs and 50 Ks in the season? You'd have to go way back to what, the Babe days, if there was anybody else?
That was him. By the way, I've read the wording differently. It would have been more impressive if it was 50 and 50, but it just lists as 50 home runs and multiple strikeouts in a season. So what does that mean? Like Babe Ruth hit 50 and like pitched like an inning or two and got like 1 or 2 got like 2 or 3 strikeouts?
Right.
I need some depth on that because it doesn't sound as impressive now that I read it. Like, hey, 50 home runs and multiple strikeouts. Like, no, like you can't just have 2 strikeouts to be like you had multiple.
Yeah, it's 50-50,
so
I think.
Both.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this other sports book. I have players with 50 home runs and multiple strikeouts pitching in the same season. What a dumb way to title that at this point. The 50-50 sounds absolutely much better. I tell you, you're not getting any 50-50s tonight in this game. Talking about the New York Yankees and the Minnesota Twins. Heel versus Bradley. 925, 926 on the rotation, a 740 start. Favorite here for the Yankees. Heavy overnight, minus 180s. They're backtracking a little bit. 168s, 175s in the sports landscape here, and a total of 9. I actually think we get runs tonight. We got them last night in a big way. 10-1 Yankees turned into 10-9 Yankees. That's 19 runs. Joe, why can't we get half of those tonight and try to cash in on a total here?
I think you're going to, but the question is, who in that bullpen is going to stop the meltdown? Oh, yeah, that's right. Back to that rule. We only bet the Yankees in the first 5. Love Louis Heel in this spot here. I will lay the half a run. with the Yankees in the first 5, because once you get to the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th inning with that bullpen, good luck. Twins will probably score a whole lot of runs, and maybe even an over is in store here tonight.
By the way, looking at Luis Gil on the season, I'd say on the season dating back to May, where the temperature starts to change in Major League Baseball, he's the worst pitcher on my card today analytically. You say, well, hold on now. 41 1/3 innings pitched since May, a 2.83 ERA. Sounds great, but how about his xFIP number? 5.59, an absolute disaster. You look at Taj Bradley, 97 1/3 innings pitched since May, a 5 ERA and a 4.28 xFIP number. I'm expecting some runs to be in the ball yard tonight up there in Minnesota to see how that one plays out. Playoff baseball. We continue to talk about, even though the playoffs don't start until October. Texas and Houston. DeGrom versus Javier. DeGrom is a slight favorite today at a minus 135 price, and a total that's listed between 7.5 and 8, depending on where you're shopping at. Does DeGrom have enough in the tank? Because Javier, coming off the IL, hasn't been that great of a pitcher here, but you can't afford any more losses if you're the Rangers, specifically to a team you're trying to chase down. Do or die situation tonight in Houston for the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, listen, Rangers need DeGrom to show up, and he has. Donnie, let's be realistic. He is, what a bounce-back year for him, and they are going to need him to shut down this lineup that, they scored a lot of runs against Merrill Kelly early and then didn't score again late. Don't forget, the Astros lineup, I believe, Donnie, currently after the All-Star break, one of the worst in scoring runs per game, just about 4 runs a game here. Christian Javier still trying to work off the rust, Donnie. I mean, he's gotten beat up here. He's given up at least 4 runs in 3 of his past 4 starts. So, yeah, I like the Rangers at this price with DeGrom on the mound to get it done.
Look at that. Step up to the plate, Texas. Make a race out of this thing. Help out the Seattle Mariners. Knock off those in-state rivals, Houston Astros. Let's go out to the West Coast here, where the Philadelphia Phillies are owning the Los Angeles Dodgers. And it looks like right now it is a 2-team race in the NL. It's the Philadelphia Phillies and the Milwaukee Brewers for that top spot. The more the Phillies keep pounding the Dodgers, the farther back they get. I think the Dodgers are 7 games back, I want to say, of the Philadelphia Phillies for that number 2 seed, if we're talking about winning the division race and how those teams will be seeded once they hit the playoffs. Tonight, 9-13, 9-14 on the rotation, a 10-10 start. The Phillies are going to throw out Luzardo and going up against my guy Blake Snell. 2 lefties on the mound, a favorite for the Dodgers, just like we saw last night. A total of 8, primarily what we saw last night. More runs coming. Luzardo's been very good. Snell's been good. How do we play this game tonight at Chavez Ravine at 10-10 Eastern?
Yeah, it's, Snell is had a rough go of it. He started off great once they got him back, and now the walks have started to creep up a little bit here. The strikeouts have taken a step back a little bit. And again, he's still, it's been a while since he pitched. You can't miss, 3/4 of the season and come in and expect it's just going to be great. I do think runs could be coming in this one. So I'd be looking at the over tonight. The bats for Philly, the bats for the Dodgers have been red hot. There is no reason to think we can't get over 8 runs in this game.
Gotcha. I'm with you here. We'll see what happens out on the West Coast, see what the Philadelphia Phillies do to try to hang around the Brewers. And also, more importantly, the Dodgers probably looking earlier in the day, hey, New York Mets, can you help us out again with a victory? And then we compile 1-1, and it's 2 more games in our favor. And away you go as the division champions for the Dodgers here. I do want to spend a little bit of time talking about the AL MVP race here, Joe. And it is obviously between Aaron Judge and Cal Raleigh. Now, the odds makers will lend you to believe that it's probably still going to be Aaron Judge. But I'm trying to be honest, Joe, I'm trying to figure out why. If we're looking at one of the toughest positions in Major League Baseball, and you could probably say the toughest, is playing catcher on a day-to-day basis. Cal Raleigh does do that. Now, is Cal Raleigh's batting average as high as Aaron Judge? He's hitting .326? No. But he has more home runs and more RBI and plays the catcher every single day and hasn't missed multiple weeks like Aaron Judge has. So understand this. Do we see the odds makers? Because if I'm looking right now, and I'm just going to pick out FanDuel, -900. Why is Aaron Judge honestly a -900 favorite to win the MVP right now over Cal Raleigh?
Yeah, because one plays in the New York media market, the other plays in Seattle, and that's the problem here. And listen, as good as Seattle has been here, Donnie, right? They have not been the biggest topic of conversation over the last month here in Major League Baseball. It's always about what the Yankees are doing, what the Dodgers are doing, and can the Red Sox catch him, and yada, yada, yada. In the meantime, he's passed guys like Johnny Bench, for most home runs in a season by a catcher. Salvatore Perez. He also just, I believe, is now tied with Griffey for the most home runs in a season as a Mariner. And you're not hearing any of that in the media. And that's why Judge is basically minus 900 at this point.
It's pretty incredible, like the rise for Cal Raleigh, right? 28 years old. Like you look at him, looks like he's 35. He's like, oh, he's been around the major leagues for a long time. That's not really been the case. He's just really excelling. And again, 56 home runs for Raleigh compared to 48 for Aaron Judge. RBI markets here, 118 for Cal Raleigh. You look at Aaron Judge, 103. And I'm not saying that's the end-all be-all. And yes, Aaron Judge is hitting 326 and Cal Raleigh is below that. But I always like to take a look at, Joe, like the extracurriculars, right? Like the Yankees aren't going to win the division. Like Cal Raleigh's hitting home runs down the stretch in a tight race for the Astros, where he's that linchpin that can hit 4 more home runs, give them the division championship, and he hit 60 home runs. There's no way he shouldn't be the MVP. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And it's so funny, Donnie, because when you think about it, here's a few guys that have never hit 50 home runs in a season. Guys like Albert Pujols, Miguel Cabrera, Reggie Jackson, Hank Aaron, Mike Schmidt. Lou Gehrig, you're getting like what this dude has done here as a switch hitter, as a catcher in this season is one of the all-time greatest seasons that we have seen here. Now, does that mean he's going to do it again next year and a year after that? No, but just take it for what it is. One of the all-time greatest seasons we've seen by a switch hitter.
It's really impressive when you watch it play out, because this isn't a part-time DH. It's like, hey, you know what? I just hang out in the back. I hit home runs, no wear and tear. This is a guy playing catcher. And if anybody says, well, he plays catcher as a part of baseball, do me a favor. If you're just watching, you don't have to be a professional athlete. Go stand in a catcher's position for 30 seconds and go, oh, my goodness. Yeah, and do that for 160 or so games, and do it for 3 to 4 hours every single night, which includes catching bullpen sessions and then the Major League Baseball game itself, and then go up to the plate and hit 60 home runs against Major League Baseball pitching. Yeah, that's right. You can't do it. Cal Raleigh for me right now. He's my MVP. I'm telling you, if he hits 60 and he doesn't get that MVP award, do away with the MVP award. We don't want it anymore. But you know what we want now? Some golf advice. Keith Stewart's going to join us. And we're not talking Sanderson Farms Championship, people. It's Ryder Cup action.
Look at the weather, try to look for some anytime touchdowns or maybe some props that you really feel confident about. But it's always the time for urgency, especially for a team like the New York Giants. I think that defense is something that can give Giants fans hope. And then if you get Dart under center, it's hope. And then if you can get Scatterboo out there and the whole building's going boo, it's hope. And as we know, hope works.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid.
If you're in the Super Bowl market, if you're in the futures market, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill is heavily connected to the Kansas City Chiefs. I am sure it would be Tyreek's first place if he could pick to go back to. At least I would think it would be. And the Chiefs have a need, and the Chiefs are interested, and they're not worried about any of his other question marks.
Pro football today, only on SportsGrid.
Oh, Donnie, then you don't believe in face recognition, do you? Because I can assure you. Oh, yes, they do. They absolutely do. They will find that guy in a heartbeat. And by the way, why would you want to go to Vegas? You want to talk about facial red? They won't let you step in a casino. They won't let you step anywhere in
The
there.
Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
There was a little bit of a kerfluffle earlier today when there's an exception taken to a putt that wasn't given, and just the reactions were pretty unilateral from both sides of like, hey, that's not behavior that we're going to tolerate at this type of competition.
Can you talk to me about kerfluffle again? Can you run that word back? I've never heard that word before.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
It's a Hump Day Wednesday for the Early Line right here on the SportsGrid Network. I'm Donnie Rightside. He is Joe Ranieri. And at this time, we say, hey, you're talking Major League Baseball. We're going to talk a little NFL. How about some college football? No, the Ryder Cup is on deck, and we need all hands on deck. And that includes Keith Stewart, our resident PGA professional, to give us the latest, the updates on some of the changing odds. But more importantly, Keith, I need your help here. What are we doing with the short shorts there for the European side? I mean, can you help me out with this? What's going on over there? Come on now.
Donnie, Joe, good morning. Yes, the Ryder Cup is a mere 10 days away, and let the hyperbole begin. There is a rumor that the shorts were the reason why their odds jumped to plus 170 on the Euro side. That's the highest number we've seen since the teams were confirmed, but I think it has a little more to do with the fact that the Americans actually went to the Pro Tour. 10 guys played, and 10 guys made the cut, and of course, world's number one, Scotty Scheffler, took home the prize.
Keith, in all walks of life, like I always like to say, like, look good, play good. Like I played a lot of golf, and even like back in the day, it's like, you know what? Got a fresh Nike shirt here, got the khakis pressed here, new FootJoys on the feet here. Like I feel great today. I'm going to play great. Now, granted, sometimes you don't play great, but you feel that way heading to the golf course. I don't like this look here of the European team, but that should impact the odds. But why are the odds being actually impacted right now? You sent out that tweet yesterday. It's like, you know what? Europe. Plus 170, plus 175 in that range. Why is the movement more towards the Americans right now than the European team?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that, like I just mentioned, the Pro Court, the Americans played very good, and they did something that they didn't do before Rome. The second thing is that you're going to see the European number climb for a little bit before the U.S. team gets there, and then all the pomp and circumstance of next week takes place, and the media can really dig into what's going on there. Luke Donald has done this before, guys. It's not his first rodeo, right? And even though maybe they're picking the clothes out of Joe Ranieri's like South Beach closet down there, the short shorts, the fact of the matter is that everything that Captain Donald is doing is calculated. When the Europeans come over here, they came early. Why? They are going to be all over the city. They're going to be all over Long Island. They are going to be friendly. They're going to be glad-handing. They're going to be signing babies' foreheads. They're going to be doing all of these things to try to engage the crowd as much as they can in a positive nature. Europe has been doing this since the mid-'80s when Tony Jacklin was the captain, and they're going to do it again now. We have to be prepared as American fans to not fall for all of Luke Donald's tricks. And you know what? As the Americans start to show up and we start to see that, maybe Xander's not in as great a form in the practice round, you'll see that plus 170 number drop. And then the American number will drop, and it'll get closer to the middle line as we approach 7:10 a.m. 10 days from now.
So, Scheffler is just ridiculous. I mean, back-to-back years, 6 wins on tour. I mean, he's in elite company, Tiger, Jack, Arnie. But is there a hole in this guy's game that, Tiger, for as great as he was, this format with the Ryder Cup wasn't exactly kind to him. He didn't dominate like he did on the tour. Is this format set up? Could this be the bugaboo for Scotty Scheffler here, this format?
100%, Joe. And there's 2 reasons why. Number one is that the fate of his foursomes and 4-ball pairings, when he plays in the team pairing events, is in the hands of Keegan Bradley. Now, I'm sure he has input, but he's going to have a partner. And Tiger always had a partner. You look at Tiger's singles record, and it's stellar. And, Scotty, to this point, is 2-2-3 in the Ryder Cup. I mean, that's not a very good record. I mean, even when he was at Whistling Straits, he was great in singles against Rahm. But, of course, in the other team matches, not as strong, finishing 500. So, at the end of the day, we need to roll with Scotty Scheffler. And I'll get into this right now. If we're not playing this guy 5 times and we have him on a pitch count like he's over there at Citi Field, I'm going to lose my mind. All right? I'm absolutely going to lose my mind. If you go back to 1981, the side that plays the guys the most 5 times in the matches is 14-7. And Europe does it all the time against us, right? How are we not as strong as Team Europe to be able to play 5 times? If Scotty's not out there 5 times, hey, if we're boat racing him after two days, I get it. But if we are not playing Scotty Scheffler and some of our studs in match play, like a Patrick Cantlay, then I don't know what we're doing, Joe.
Keith, home course advantage. Bethpage Black is going to be fantastic. New York, the fan base is going to be tremendous. We just showed some of that B-roll footage there of how beautiful that golf course looks. Answer me this question, because for the people that don't know, Does Team USA, do they get to set up the golf course the way they want the golf course set up as home course advantage? And also, how's this golf course going to play once we get to the Ryder Cup?
Donnie, this is an amazing point right now. Yes, home team advantage has a lot to do with the way you set up the golf course. Kerry Haig, which is the PGA of America's, chief championships officer, he sets up the PGA championship. They have been in tune with this place for probably over a year from an agronomic standpoint, right? And if you go back to the 2019 PGA championship, which was the last time that we had a major or a golf event like this at Bethpage Black, right? The setup this year, I've seen the official scorecard. It's already 107 yards shorter than it was for the PGA Championship. 5 holes have been made shorter. Now, why would we be making them shorter? Well, the fact of the matter is that you want to set the golf course up for your strengths. If you go back to Rome, the Americans, they could not hit any of their wedges. It was a ton of long iron shots. And that's what Victor Hovland, John Rahm, Rory McIlroy, Tommy Fleetwood were good at. And we got boat raced over there in Rome, right? Now you come over to our Coliseum and all of a sudden we're going to set up. You're going to see the golf course play a little shorter. You're going to see a ton of wedge play for our guys like Scheffler, Russell Henley. I mean, Ben Griffin. These guys are all the best wedge players in the world. They made the golf course a little bit shorter. So yes, you can manipulate things. You're going to see the rough go up. They're going to force you to be accurate and they're going to force you to use your wedges to score.
Keith, by the way, we're going to have you on again next week as we really set the primer for the Ryder Cup, which is fantastic. If you had an underdog player in this tournament coming up, who is that going to be?
Oh boy! Like if I was looking for somebody to get most points, that was a rookie or
riser.
I think you're looking at someone on the American side. I still think the Americans at this point will win, and something straight like completely crazy happens. I think somebody like a Cam Young or Russell Henley, because of their pairings, are going to get themselves some extra points in those first 2 days, and I like their chances to be kind of an unknown secret weapon.
Two worlds collide, rival nations. I think that came from Rocky #4. We can use that reference here in golf as well. He's Keith Stewart. He's our resident PGA professional, and he's ready for the Ryder Cup, and we are as well. We'll have Keith on next week. Love to hear from him. Cannot wait for the Ryder Cup next weekend. Exciting times right on the SportsGrid Network. We'll close out the show next. Stay tuned.
Look at the weather, try to look for some anytime touchdowns or maybe some props that you really feel confident about. But it's always the time for urgency, especially for a team like the New York Giants. I think that defense is something that can give Giants fans hope. And then if you get Dart under center, it's hope. And then if you can get Scatterboo out there and the whole building's going boo, it's hope. And as we know, hope works.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid.
If you're in the Super Bowl market, if you're in the futures market, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill is heavily connected to the Kansas City Chiefs. I am sure it would be Tyreek's first place if he could pick to go back to. At least I would think it would be. And the Chiefs have a need, and the Chiefs are interested, and they're not worried about any of his other question marks.
Pro football today, only on SportsGrid.
Oh, Donnie, then you don't believe in face recognition, do you? Because I can assure you. Oh, yes, they do. They absolutely do. They will find that guy in a heartbeat. And by the way, why would you want to go to Vegas? You want to talk about facial red? They won't let you step in a casino. They won't let you step anywhere in
The
there.
Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
There's a little bit of a kerfluffle earlier today when there's an exception taken to a putt that wasn't given, and just the reactions were pretty unilateral from both sides of like, hey, that's not behavior that we're going to tolerate at this type of competition.
Can you talk to me about kerfluffle again? Can you run that word back? I've never heard that word before.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Ryder Cup coming up, not this weekend, next weekend. Bethpage Black, an unbelievable golf course. Long Island, just outside of New York City. The fans will be packed, and it's one of my favorite tournaments. Why? Because you can get to be fans. You can be as loud as you want, as crazy as you want, and uncouth, right? Hey, guy missed a putt. You're supposed to be, oh, no, it's wild cheers because the home team here is going to take advantage and make their putt. I love to see it, Joe. The Ryder Cup certainly is great theater, and we got that coming up shortly for us.
It's one of my favorite. I mean, Donnie, growing up in New York, I played that golf course a lot. And it is also one of the most unbelievably difficult courses to walk because there are hills everywhere. You're walking straight uphill, you're walking straight downhill. It's even as a spectator, there are going to be some dudes out of breath going to this tournament for sure.
It's where we got the famous quote. I don't know. It's probably 20 years old now. Hit the ball, Sergio. If you remember Sergio, keep reprint, regrip, regrip. You get yelled at. That's what the crowd's going to do here. Can't wait to watch it play out with all the pomp, circumstance, and pageantry and theater that you get from the Ryder Cups. But this part of the show, Joe, you know the drill. We want to reach out to the people and see what their opinion was on a certain topic. Here's Fade the Public. All right, we went to the National League. We asked a simple question at SportsGrid, which is our account on X, and that question was, which team do you think misses the playoffs this season? 4 options. The Mets, plus 350. The Astros, plus 610. The Rangers, minus 590. And the Diamondbacks, minus 1200. So actually, it is the National League and the American League with a nice little mix right here. For me, I voted Rangers at 32%, but they're minus 590. I mean, come on now. I mean, how much of a step out are we doing at this point? I don't think the Rangers get in, but they do have a last stand effort tonight with Jacob deGrom on the mound. If you had a vote, and you did, Joe, where did you go?
Oh, the Mets, without a doubt. Give me the Mets. I think it makes for such a better story, Donnie, does it not? What would that be like? What would the headlines be like if that actually comes to fruition? Listen, one of these teams is going to get hot here, right? One of those teams is going to get hot and make a run. Is it Houston right now? Is it Arizona, who's been playing incredibly good baseball? Which one is it, Donnie? Because one of those teams, or a few of those teams, are going to be on the outside looking in.
Absolutely. And now we rise like a phoenix from the ashes. The place didn't work out too well last night. You can't always win every single night. Let's get after some bye tonight. Step back into the arena, Joe Ranieri, tonight. We need you. All hands on deck. Where are we going tonight for a W?
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Worst start of in a long time there for Mr. Skeens yesterday. But I think we're going to get a big bounce back spot here tonight. And I like it for the Dodgers, who all the quotes coming out, Donnie, they are not happy having lost that game yesterday in the fashion they did, with Ohtani having a no-hitter of all things through 5 innings there. And then, of course, hitting the home run, and all of that was for naught as the bullpen came in and melted. Snell on the mound here tonight, going up against Luzardo. We know Luzardo, which one shows up. I trust him a little bit more at home than I do on the road. I think you see a big effort out of the Dodgers. And with Snell on the mound at that price, Donnie, yeah, it's absolutely worth a bet to get behind the Dodgers to win one here tonight.
See if Ohtani can go yard again. Luzardo's been a good pitcher there. Snell as well. Probably a lower scoring game. We'll see if the Dodgers pull it out. They have to. You can't just keep losing games because eventually San Diego's going to win. And also, you probably like it even more, Joe, right? You watch earlier in the day. If the Padres can knock off the Mets, that's extra pressure on the Dodgers. As opposed to, okay, good. Padres lost again. It's no big deal at this point. Let's go out there and play some baseball. We'll see if that pressure turns up. For me, I'm going with an over. Last night we had 19 runs with the Minnesota Twins. Now, again, ebbs and flows of baseball. Yeah, 1-0 sets up, right? Because the night before, the Yankees scored 0 runs on 2 base hits. Last night they exploded for 10 runs. Heel versus Bradley. 2 pitchers that can be hit, 77 degrees at first pitch. I expect more runs tonight. I'm going over the 9 runs in the Twin Cities tonight between the Yankees and the Twins here, Joe. That's where I'm going.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, listen, that bullpen of Minnesota is awful as well. So, yeah, we should absolutely, once we get past the starters, we should get a whole lot of runs in the latter half of these innings as well. So I'm with you. It is only an over for me in that spot.
It's a good time of season right now. It's a good time to watch the Sports Grid Network because it is hump day, Joe. We put in 2 hours of work here to make sure those people got excited for a Wednesday where they can turn the page on a Thursday and we get NFL football. Now, how good is that game going to be? I don't know. But I'd love to see a total around 50 points, which means we're going to get touchdowns and will we cover a double-digit spread? You know what we're going to do tomorrow? Handicap that game once again, the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. For Joe Ranieri and Donnie Rightside and the rest of the crew here, right here on the early line, the best part about it is we'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning.